Good morning all. Today is French cleat day. So I feel like this room is transformed now. I've got space, I can move. We've got the table that you're sat on top of. Still scared of the table. I feel like it's going to take my fingers away. But as a precaution, we've built a featherboard. For anyone that doesn't know, because it's like a cone, it allows boards to go one way and won't go the other. So when I actually, in fact, I'll grab it. When I'm pushing wood through, if I put my featherboard in, it just means it keeps the wood pushed against this back wall, because originally when I was testing it, the wood was going which way it wanted. So we've got that. I'm also going to clamp something in the top to keep the wood in place. So I feel like I can use this at a distance and try and stay away from it. At the same time, I've been playing with the French cleat idea. Just trying to work out what sized wood I want to go with. I've tried a thin one, it worked, but I also tried a thicker one, worked a lot better. Let me just take a couple of these off. This is the thicker one, so when it's on, it's pretty sturdy. There's not much wobble in it, but when I did it on the thin one, as you can see, it wobbles quite a lot. Which wouldn't be a problem because the next shelf underneath it would support it, but either way I thought I'll go with this. So I've been down and got a load more of this wood. The only trouble is I buy it quite cheap. It's like 90 pence a strip and it's 2.5 meters, which means there's slight inconsistencies of how tall it is. Some a millimetre out than the others, so we're going to go through and find the best of the best and hopefully get a handful of shelves on the wall today. So we're going to have a measure up, work out exactly how many I want, how wide they're going to be, have I got enough space, and then just start ripping them to shit. Right, we're sorted. That's the length we're going to go with. That should just finish there, provided I open the door and start all the way over here. So I've got my featherboard all pinned in place, and some people will be looking at this going, you've got a clamp there. You've got a clamp there for sitting and a clamp there. Why are you not actually using the tracks, you Neanderthal, sort your life out? I know, I could do this better. This is the temporary featherboard. I'm going to do it all better. But to make tools, you need an area and you need tools. They're in boxes, they're in shelves, the screws, everything's hidden. So if we can knock this out, I can get some order, then I can start making proper things. So get off my case. Right, so yes, I may have skipped a step. I didn't record it because there was too much working out exactly the perfect height. But we've got our first one in. It is nice and sturdy, very easy to put the shelves on. They're strong, they're not wiggling. So now we're just gonna rinse and repeat all the way down. I'm gonna potentially get them all the way down here because I can put some tools that I don't really need to use, but I could use the actual space. But what I'm also going to do is this big piece of wood, it's about 18 centimetres. I'm going to use this as a backboard. One, so things don't go woo down the back and disappear. And also it's going to be a nice piece of wood I can put the plug sockets into, so I can run the sockets down there. So I've had to add that into my equation. Look, she's working. We've got a drinks holder. Right, I have fashioned a makeshift adapter for the dust extraction because we're starting to get a big pile. I've got this, it's hot, it's knackered, but it still works. So with the power of doing all these parts, this will now fit in. So we need to sellotape it together, stick it on there, and we can start extracting some dust instead of just making a mess all the time. And voila, that's what you buy expensive pieces of machinery for, so you can sellotape broken pieces of cut. But look at this, it goes in, and even with this broken bit, that is where we twist it, and then it's locked in place. Oh yes, we made every bit work. That crack was there on purpose. Yeah, of course it was. I tell you what, I've really just sold myself the French cleat system. One, because obviously you can snap the parts off and reorganise them. Well, mainly because of that. Because I know whatever I do, 2 days later I go, oh, I shouldn't have put it there. But I've not made a cup shelf, that was just my test piece, but it's worked out to be an okay cup shelf. It's nice to have it away because I keep moving these tools. Big pieces of wood could easily knock over a drink, so it's nice and out of the way. So I was just like, I'm parched, I just need to get a drink. I just tried to reach it, and I can't because of all the cables are in the way. So what I did is I just instantly put it where I could reach it and and put my drink back there and then carried on working. And it instantly made me go, that is the beauty of the system. If I'm using the drill press and I need some drill bits and they're over there, I can take them off and put them where I'm working. So I didn't actually notice I was using it how it is intended, and when I did, I went, yes, this is how tools should be organised, where I can move them but they have a place. So we're getting there now. I'm leaving the bottom bit as it is now because we're going to have the splashback, if you want to call it that, for the power sockets. So all that side's done. I've left a gap here. I've got a few more bits and bobs, but I'm more bothered about actually making some tool shelves now, getting some tools on there because I've got plenty of space. And then once I've done all that, I'll carry on running them down there with all the other bits. So more than anything, I've also got a couple of toolboxes inside the house. So I'm going to get them, bring them in, and start to sift through the tools, see what can be categorised together, what's going to go on its own dedicated shelf, work out what I've got, how I'm going to build the shelves, and start actually putting some stuff on the walls at last. Right, first shelf done. Clamps. Right, I didn't film that because we are running out of daylight, so I did it as quick as I could. But using the two broom handles, we've got that, and bosh, they fit in there perfectly. And as and when I need to use them, I can move them about. And that is spot on. So a few days have passed now, and I've got about, I don't know why I have to look at my clock because I'm still going to say the same number no matter what, and that's about an hour before I need to start work. So I'm just going to try and get another job done in here. Some time's passed now, so we've got some stuff up on the French cleats. These aren't necessarily the final form. When I can sit down and make them look really, really nice, I will do. But for now, I'm just using loft board as scrap. But I've got them in there, got a nice little compartment at the back for the grindstones. This was built, obviously you've already saw it probably on the video. It was designed to accommodate the full length of this axe. That's why it comes so far out. Since then, my dad's purchased me a big axe, so I'm going to put the axes together down there. So what I'm going to do is chop that, make it a bit smaller. We've got this, which is really, really useful for me. Actually knowing where a tool is instead of rummaging through here is so much better. We've got them up on there. Some of the actual pliers, I've got plenty more, I just can't find them yet, and somewhere for the drill and charging area. So I've been out today, got some more wood for 80p, so we're going to make some more cleats, and I've also been and got this big piece of wood here, and what we're going to do is put a bottom on there so we can start storing stuff underneath. Right, so I've done a bit without you because the battery died, so I've got this in. What I've been doing is just making sure all the legs are straight. There was when I first installed this, but they've been kicked a few times. I've been passing back and forth, so we've got these in, and what I've done is I've measured this, and it's about 57 centimeters. Then the plywood's about 2 centimeters, and I've given extra centimeter just so I don't bang the top of it. So these are set at 60 centimeters down, and I might just be a teensy bit short on the wood. This top is 60. The one I just got was 50. It was pre-cut. I was like, brilliant, that should be fine, because in my head I was like, we're going to go in by a block and then in by another block, which in my head was about 10 centimeters worth. It's not. It's going to fit on both the bits, but there's going to be a little gap at the bottom. Not a problem, you won't see it, but I don't know how bad it is until we chuck it in there. So we're just going to try and get this next one in on the back, and then finish that corner off, which is a problem because these are all I can actually screw to. What I forgot is where the table ends is there, and there's nothing to screw to, so I might have to make a tiny little foot, but shouldn't be a problem. So let's crack on. Right, we've got that one in, and to be fair, because this is actually screwed in all the way along, I'm not bothered about this because this is not moving, and I'm not even going to put a piece across here yet. Reason being, this top piece, the actual board above it, hangs over a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing with it, if I want to cut it flush or what. So I'm just going to run this board in, leave it as it is, and I can worry about chopping it off later or whatever I want to do, because I don't know how I'm going to actually finish it. If I want to leave a gap so I can actually put tools, bigger tools down the back of it, or if I want to have it flush with the table leg. So either way, we're going to try and slide the board in now. So wait. Slide it down a bit more. So here she is. As I said then, at the back, we have got a little bit of a gap. And it's nearly the width of the board. So I'm just going to work out if I want to have it a bit in between. So a bit shows this side and a bit shows that side. I think I probably do actually. Or if I want it any other way. So we'll have a little drink and steer it for a bit. Quick change of plan. Told you it's always worth having a quick drink and thinking about it. I'm putting this in there because I realise it's going to be a pain in the arse if I don't do it later. And also I'm going to run this now flush because I've looked at it when it's flush. It looks very, very nice. I know there's a gap at the back. You'll never see it because tools are going to be in the way. But it does mean I haven't got much to bite to when I'm screwing it in. Well, that's not a problem because this workshop is full of offcuts. So what I'm going to do is just pad it all out and then I can actually screw into that. So that way it's going to be secure, it's going to be flush, and the end finishes nicely. So it was worth having a drink and a steer. Right, so I'm just banging a few of these in there. I'm going to put one every time there's a beam. That way I ain't got to worry about where was the one, where am I screwing to? I'll just screw directly in every single beam and it'll be a nice block ready to catch it. She's in, just need to secure her, but as a test, it can take all my weight. And I can also bang my head, so perfect. You bounce every time I do that. If I do it one more time, you fall over. You don't believe me, do you? Oh, you're gonna fall. Told you. Told you to believe me. Right, now that's all in. I just want to get one more leg in the front. I didn't put it in originally, just in case I was sliding the wood in this way. I didn't know how it was going to happen. To be fair, this table is pretty solid, but there's a little bit of flex in it. So I just want to get rid of that flex with one extra leg in there, and then we should be done. And then I'm umming and ahhing about running a router bit down here to make this flush. I like the overhang, but if I put a clamp on the side of it, I need it flush. So again, I'll have a cup of tea, and I will and ah, but I probably won't do that today. Just get his leg in and we'll call it quits. And she's done, and that's taken all the flex out of the table now. That's much more sturdy. So that is the table pretty much done. Just need to, like I said, I can change this at any time. If I want to run the router down it, I can. So all I need to do now is get the other bits of French cleats on, put the backboard for the power plugs on, and then continue the French cleats down here for the tools like axes that don't need to be easy access to, but at the same time it's perfect to have them there because then I can run straight out and cut some logs with them. So that's going to be me done for the day, and I'm going to go back to work.